The Palace of Culture is an edifice located in Iași, Romania. The building served as administrative and justice palace until 1955, when its destination was changed, being assigned to the four museums nowadays united under the name of Moldavia National Museum Complex. Also, the building houses the Cultural Heritage Conservation Restoration Center and hosts various exhibitions and other events. The Palace of Culture is listed in the National Register of Historic Monuments. History. The construction started in 1906–1907, was partly built on the old ruins of the medieval princely court of Moldavia, and partly on top of the foundations and first levels of the former neoclassical-style palace, dated to the time of Prince Alexandru Morazi, rebuilt by Prince Mihail Sturdza, and dismantled in 1904–1906. It was from this latter building that the palace inherited the legend of the 365 rooms, as many as the days within 1 year. The Romanian architect I.D. Berendii was assigned to plan the building, and he designed it in flamboyant neo-Gothic style. During World War I, the construction works halted due to the limitation of resources, but the unfinished building sheltered Romanian and Russian troops and different public institutions and military hospitals. The monument was finally completed on the 11th of October 1925 and officially inaugurated 1 year later by King Ferdinand I of Romania. Until 1955, the building housed the county law court and other public institutions. During World War II, the palace sheltered German troops and then Soviet troops. Between 1975 and 1977, the wood bridging from the last floor was replaced with a cement one, fixed with steel netting. The new bridging sustained the monument during the earthquake of 1977, but the bridging from the first floor, the walls, the ornaments and the relief works were affected. A large-scale restoration project, considered one of the most complex in Romania since 1990, began in 2008. The partial completion of works is scheduled for April 2016. Architecture. The palace has 298 large rooms with a total area of over 36,000 square meters, 92 windows in the front part of the building and another 36 inside the building. Decoratively, the central hall shows a figurative mosaic including various representations of a Gothic bestiary, concentrically arranged, two-headed eagles, dragons, griffins, lions. The hall is superposed by a glass ceiling room, where initially a greenhouse was arranged. In spite of its archaic-looking design, the palace was designed so to integrate modern materials and technologies. Thus, the stone blocks were replaced with light and much cheaper materials. Besides, some rooms were decorated using a special material licensed by Henri Coanda, under the name of bois ciment and imitating the oak wood. Decorative ironmongery elements are also remarkable, and they can be admired, for instance, on the doors of the Voivode's Hall. The building was also equipped with high-tech facilities for those times, such as electric lighting, heating, ventilation system, thermostat, vacuum cleaners, which were all directed from the machinery room at the underground level, taking also into account the 14 fires that affected the previous buildings. Berendii treated the wooden structure of the attic with an ignifugeous product called orniton, while for the roof he used a special material, named Eternity. Clock Tower. The entrance of the palace is through Great Donjon Tower, with crenelles and alcoves dominated by an eagle with open wings. The tower is the central architectural piece of the palace. On each of the 3 exposed sides there is a face of the clock with a diameter of 3.25 meters. The clock faces are decorated with stained glass representing the 12 astrological signs. two young men dressed in national costumes are painted on the sides of the clock faces guarding the clock. The stained glass windows and the cross-shaped crenellations are electrically illuminated during the night. The carillon in the tower has 8 bells that are singing each hour the Union Horror Song with the help of a drum with 69 pins. Moldavia National Museum Complex. The Moldavia National Museum Complex hosts 4 museums located in the Palaces of Culture: Art Museum, Moldavia's History Museum, Ethnographic Museum of Moldavia, and Stefan Procopiu Science and Technique Museum. The museums also comprise their own stores and libraries, as well as halls for temporary exhibitions. Art Museum. The Art Museum, founded in 1860, is the oldest and has the largest art collection in Romania, with more than 8,700 works, out of which 1,000 belong to the national and universal patrimony. Located at the first floor of the palace, it has 24 rooms for permanent exhibitions, arranged in 3 galleries. The galleries contain works by artists such as Caravaggio, Paolo Veronese, Pietro Liberi, Carlo Dolci, Salvatore Rosa, Francesco Solimena, Bartolomeo Esteban Murillo, Anthony van Dyck, Jan Both, Bartholomeus van der Helst, Egbert van Heemskerk II, Nicolas Poussin, Philippe de Champagne, Eustache Lesueur, Guillaume Cousteau, François Boucher, and many others. Moldavia's History Museum. The Moldavia's History Museum was founded in 1916 and offers more than 48,000 objects from various fields: archaeology, numismatics, decorative art, ancient books, documents, etc. One of the oldest items, a 70,000-year-old mammoth skull, is from the Middle Paleolithic era. Among other items of significance are pottery from the Cucuteni culture, Dacian, Sarmatian, Gothic, and Roman artifacts, and armory and other items of the Middle Ages. The History Museum is located inside the palace on the ground floor, in the west side, being the continue of the Antiquity Museum founded by Oris Tafrali in 1916. It has 4 sections: prehistory and ancient history, medieval history, modern history and contemporary history, presenting the main aspects of the development of the communities in the area from the Paleolithic time to the World War II. The Union Museum and Mihail Kogelnishnu Memorial Museum in Iași, Casa Memorial Palace in Rugino-Oasa, and the Archaeological Reserve of Cucuteni are also coordinated by the Moldavia's History Museum. Ethnographic Museum of Moldavia. The Ethnographic Museum of Moldavia, founded in 1943, owns more than 13,000 objects depicting the Romanian advance through the ages. The Moldavian Museum of Ethnography is located in the west side of the palace, at the first and the second floor. One can admire here the objects used by the inhabitants of Moldavia in their everyday activities, in agriculture, viticulture, raising animals, fishing, hunting, apiculture. One can also see interiors of peasant houses, devices used for pottery, weaving, wood processing, mask collections, traditional costumes. Many of these exhibits have more than 100 years old. The museum also coordinates the Wine and Vineyard Museum in Harlau, Science and Technology Museum, the Stefan Procopiu Science and Technique Museum, with a collection of more than 8,500 objects, was founded in 1955 as the Polytechnical Museum and renamed in 1994 after the physicist Stefan Procopiu. It is home to energetics, sound recording and playback, telecommunications, mineralogy, crystallography, and computer sections. The Pony Cernatescu Memorial Museum in Iași is also under the direct coordination of the Science and Technique Museum. Other attractions. Besides the four museums, the Palace of Culture presents some other attraction points. One of them is the Gothic Room, where can be admired the mosaic that presents a medieval bestiarium. There is also the Voivode's Room, located at first floor, where there are the portraits of Moldavia's rulers and Romania's kings, starting with Despalus and Trajan, paintings made by Stefan Dumitrescu and his students. Then there is Henri Coanda Room, which was named after the carvings and relief works made by the famous Romanian inventor of a cement invented by him. On the right there is the Turnul de Straha, reminiscence of the old princely court of Iași, along with the galleries underneath the court of the palace. On the left there is a collection of capitals and other stone architectonic elements grouped in a lapidarium. The hall is superposed by a glass ceiling room, where initially a greenhouse was arranged. In front of the palace there is the equestrian statue of Stephen the Great framed by two Krupp cannons, trophies from the Romanian War of Independence. Gallery.